Hi friends, it's James and welcome back to my channel. So this is part 2 to creating a Discord bot in Python. In the last video we went over how you set up your bot, how you connect it with Discord, and we also wrote our first command. We wrote the hello command and we got it so when the user in the chat types !hello, our bot will reply with a message, and in my case it says, "Hello, I am the YouTube bot." In this video, we're going over events and commands. But just before we jump straight in, some of you may have noticed that the code here is slightly different than from last video. And yes, you'd be correct. I've actually added one thing off camera. I'll show you that now. So what I've done is down here where we had the token before, where we had this long string which was our token, I've replaced it with this variable, and this variable links to a separate file that I've created, and in this separate file I have got the token. So the reason why I created a separate file is because later on in this project we're going to be using some external APIs from other sources, and it's just good practice to not have all of it all in one file. So what I like to do is create a separate API keys Python file and then link it to my main file, and then I'm just able to call the variables from that file into our main file. I hope that makes sense in what I'm explaining. You don't have to do this at all, but yes, if you're a beginner, I wouldn't recommend you do this, as it just can get confusing sometimes. So yeah, if you're starting out with a Discord bot or you're just starting out with Python, I'd recommend you just keep it all in one file. And this import bot token is what gets these variables from this file and brings it into the main file. So this allows us to reference the bot token, which is in the separate file. So essentially what's happening is that when the clients run, it's looking for bot token. It then knows to go to this import function. This import function tells it to go to the API keys file. The API keys file is here. It will go into there and it will take the token from there. The reason I'm not going to show you the API keys file now is because it's got my token in it along with a few other tokens which I can't actually reveal online because it will give away like personal info. I'm sure you can understand. But yeah, let's now jump straight in. So you'll remember in the last video we created one function, the hello function. And this function, essentially what would happen is that when the user in the chat types !hello, our bot would reply with "Hello, I am the YouTube bot." I'm now just going to quickly show you how you can create some more of these functions. So let's say you wanted your bot to reply with goodbye when someone in chat types !goodbye. I'm going to quickly show you how you could do that. But it doesn't have to be goodbye, it can be literally be whatever you want it to be. That was just an example. Let me just quickly show you. So all you have to do is just come here, copy everything from the client, and there we go. And now we want to come down and we need to rename our function. Make sure you don't have two of the same function, as that will result in errors. So for the example I just said, the goodbye function, I'm going to rename hello to goodbye. And then we're going to come down here and change the text, and we're going to I'm going to give it, I'm just going to put inside of it, goodbye, hope you have a good rest of the day. Okay, so now let's just test it out. So let's run it. So in the terminal, type python3 and then the name of your file, .py, and click enter. And you can see here, when it loads, that look, our bot is now ready for use. So let's head to Discord. And as you can see here, look on the side, our YouTube bot is now online. So now if we run the function, the goodbye function, you can see that, there we go, it works. See, so that is exactly how you can create more of these functions / commands. Technically, this is the command and it runs the function, but you understand what I'm saying. So yeah, that is how you create more functions. So you could go through on your bot right now and just create as many as you want with like different names and different messages. And yeah, so that is how you do it. I'm just going to delete this because we're not going to be using this in the example bot that I'm building and showing you now. Okay, now I'm going to talk a bit about events and what they are. So you can see here we use an event here. So this event detects when the bot is ready, and in the terminal just down here, as you saw before, is going to print the bot is now ready for use and then a dotted line. So what actually is an event? So this is the best way I think in explaining it. Essentially when an event detects a certain action, it will run a certain piece of code. I hope you understand now what I'm saying. Essentially, when it detects something, it will do something else. So that's basically what an event is. However, we can use events to do some really cool things. And there's hundreds and hundreds of events that come with the Discord PY Python package. And I'm going to show you now where you can find them. So if you head to the browser and then you head to the link, I'll leave this link in the description, it will take you to this API references page for the Python package that we are using, the Discord PY Python package. As you can see here, there's just hundreds of events and different references and API calls that you can make. So I'm going to leave this in here so you can go through it and have a look for yourself. If you don't understand any of it, that's perfectly fine. This is the whole point of this series. I'm going to be explaining quite a lot of things as we build out our bot to a really advanced level. But yeah, let's just head back. And now I'm going to show you something cool that we could do with our bot that I believe most bots should do. Well, maybe not all bots, but I'm going to show you here because this is something cool that we can get our bot to do. What we're going to do essentially is we're going to get it so that our bot, when our bot detects that a new user joins our server, it will send a message in the chat along with a joke. And when a user disconnects from our server, it will also say a goodbye message, even though technically the user that disconnects won't actually see that message because they will have left the server, but I still think it's quite a fun thing to do. So yeah, let's just do that now. So we're going to actually use events now. So this is where we get to use events. This is where it gets really fun. So come down here and we want to do this. We're going to do @client.event and then new line. And now on this new line, we're going to do what we did up here. So come down here and we want to type async and def, and then now on underscore member underscore join, and then open and close brackets, and then member inside of here, and then a colon afterwards. So now let me explain what this does. Is we're defining it as an event, as we just talked about what an event was. And we're calling the onMemberJoin event. And essentially what this does is it will detect when a user has joined the server, and then it will run whatever below here, what we're about to write. So what we want to do now is tab in, so we got that little gap before, and then we want to type await, then member.send, and then open and close brackets, and then test. We're just going to do this just to test that it works, and I'd recommend you do the same just to make sure that it's working when someone joins. But if we were to run this code, this wouldn't actually technically work. We're actually missing something. We need to add something back up here, and let me show you now. So we need to just create a bit of a gap up here where you can type something. And so yeah, let me show you what you need to type. So what we need to type is we need to type intents like that, and then equals Discord .intents.default, and then open and close brackets. And then, by the way, I'll explain this in a second. And then we want to type intents.members is equal to true. There we go. And then the last thing we need to do inside of our client here, what we need to do is after our command underscore prefix, and after where we defined what our prefix is, we want to put a comma. And then we want to type intents is equal to intents. There we go. And now make sure you save it. And let's just run this and let's see if it works. So cancel the command that's currently running. Don't worry about those errors. They don't actually mean anything. Then type Python 3 and then main.py and then enter. Or whatever the name your file was. And look, as you can see here, it has errored out. However, do not worry, don't worry. I was expecting this to happen. So let me explain why this has happened. Essentially, intents is not enabled within inside of Discord developer portal, the thing that we used in the last video. Essentially, it's trying to access part of Discord that we haven't given it permission to access, if that makes sense. So we need to give it permission. So if we head back to the developer portal and we go back into our application and we head to the bot section. Okay, so we're now inside of the bot section, and you want to scroll down until you see here where it says intents, and this is what we need to enable. So if we toggle this switch here and this switch here and then click save changes, there we go. So now let's head back to our IDE. However, just before we run it, I want to change one line in our code. I want to go back to where I said member send, and I just want to delete it and replace it with a simple print function, because this will show us whether or not it's working. because if it's working, then we should get a hello in the chat. However, actually no, what we're going to do is add plus after it and member. So we're going to add this member function that we've passed into this function, if that makes sense. So let's run it, give it a second, and there we go, it's now ready for use. So if we head over to Discord now. Okay, so I've actually created a separate test account, which I'm going to join to the server, and hopefully when the test account joins to the server, when we go back to our IDE, hello will be written inside of the terminal. So let's try it out. I'm going to join the test account in 3, 2, 1. There we go, it's joined. So now if we head back to the IDE. Oh, it worked. It worked. It's just getting confused with this member bit. That's fine. We can just take that out for now. But now if we do save it, remove that bit, and then we just rerun the code, that member bit wasn't actually important, as in we're not actually using it in the final piece of code. It was just something I wanted to try out, but that does not matter. We can ignore that, and let's just get rid of that and then run it. There we go, it's now rerunning. So if we head back to Discord, there you go, head back to Discord. I'm now going to leave on the test account, and now I'm going to rejoin. There we go, so I've now rejoined. So now if I head back to our IDE, yes, it worked. There we go, it has worked. So we've now got it to work. So our bot can now detect when a user joins the server, which is what we want. But we don't want it just to print hello in the terminal. That's no fun for anyone else on the server. We want our bot to print this inside of our Discord, inside of the chat here, along with a joke. So how are we going to do this? Well then, what we need to do is we need to get the channel name. So we need to get the ID of this channel, and then we need to tell it to print it inside of that channel along with our joke. And we're going to be getting our joke from a separate API. Of course, you don't have to do the joke if you don't want to. You can just do a basic, simple hello message. But yes, I plan to do a joke. I won't spend too much in detail about how I use the API to get the joke, as that's kind of separate and not really to do with the Discord bot itself. But I'll very basically go over that when we get to it. So let's first get the channel name. So before we get the channel ID, we're just going to remove this print statement here and replace it with channel is equal to client.get underscore channel and open and close brackets and then single quotes. There we go. So inside of these single quotes, this is where we're going to be pasting our channel ID. And then below here, we're going to type await and then channel.send and then open brackets. I spelled that wrong, apologies. Send, open brackets, and then double speech marks, and then hello. We'll replace that with our joke and welcome message in a second once we know it works. So we need to get the channel ID. So to do this, we need to head into Discord, into the Discord app. So I am actually using my test account to show you how to do this. But the reason I'm doing this is because when we go into this section, it reveals quite a lot of personal info, like my phone number and email address, which I don't feel comfortable in sharing on the internet. So on your Discord account, you want to come down and click on the cog icon. And you want to scroll down and click appearance. And then scroll down and see where it says developer mode. You want to enable that. And that is everything you want to enable here. So we can go back out. I'm now going to switch back to my actual Discord account. So now in the channel that you want your Discord bot to send the welcome message, right click it and then click copy ID. And then if we go back to our IDE, inside of these brackets, you want to paste the ID. There we go. And then save it. And now let's test it out. So let's stop it from running and then rerun it. There we go. Now let's head back to Discord. I'm going to leave on my test account and then I'm going to rejoin in 3, 2, 1. There we go. It's joined. However, if we go back to our IDE, it hasn't worked. It doesn't know, there's no attribute called send. And the reason why this happened, and I apologize for this, is because we've put the ID in single quotes. That we're not supposed to do that because it's an integer. So if we remove those single quotes, you can see, there you go, it lights up in the correct color. So now if we save it and rerun it, okay, there we go. And now if we head back to Discord, and now I'm going to leave on my test account. And now I'm going to rejoin again. 3, 2, 1. There we go, it works. You can see. So you can see that our test account joined and then our bot replied with hello. So there we go, we have done it. So if we head back to our IDE now. So you could change this hello to whatever you want it to be, like welcome, welcome, or I don't know what else you'd really write in a message. Welcome to the server. Thank you for joining. Around those sort of lines. You could basically customize it to whatever you want it to be. But as I said earlier, we're going to be adding it so it tells us a joke. But I'm sure some of you aren't that actually interested in the joke part. So I'm going to leave that bit to the end, and I'm going to do the when someone leaves the server. So for the people of you who aren't interested in the joke part, you don't have to skip around the video. I will just do it straight now. So we want to create a new event now. So if we come down and we type @client.event, just like we did up here. And now we want to go down to a new line and type async and then def and then on underscore member underscore remove. Open and close brackets and then member and then colon. And this basically acts in the same way as this on member join, but in the reverse. So when a user disconnects from the server, when a user leaves the server, it will run what is below. So we need to do the same. We need to put in the channel. So we can copy that and just paste it straight in below. And then we want to type the same as before. So we can again copy this. Probably should have done it in one go, made it a bit easier, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. We want to copy it. And then here we want to replace this with what we want it to say, like goodbye. There we go. So now we save it and then rerun it. Let's test it out. There we go. Our bot is now running. So if we head back to Discord, there we go. I'm now about to leave on my test account. So hopefully our bot should reply with goodbye. So I'm going to leave in 3, 2, 1 and leave. Goodbye. See, there we go. It worked. It now worked. So that is how you detect when a person leaves and joins a server and how you send an appropriate message to do with that. So I'm now going to do the joke bit. So for any of you who are interested in that, so yeah, I'll go through that now. So for the joke bit, we want it to display a joke when the person joins the server. I still want it to give a welcome message. So I'm going to rename the hello to welcome. And then what we're going to do now is we actually need to get a joke. And we're going to get this from a separate API. And the API that we're going to use is one by Rapid API. This one here. We're going to essentially use this API to get a random joke. And this random joke will then be printed into our chat. So, Rapid API, they give you an API key which you have to use. So to get that, you can just sign up for. I'll leave a link in the description for where you can find this. And if you come to this section here, the language selection, you want to come down to the Python and make sure that requests are selected. We're going to be using the request package. So let's first make sure that you have request package installed. I do, however, if you don't, I'm going to show you how you can install it. So you want to come to your terminal and you want to type this. And this will install the requests package. But as I said previously, I've already got this installed. But once you have installed it, we do actually need to import it into our file. Import the package into our file so that our code knows to use it. So inside of our required dependencies up here, we're going to do a new line and we're going to type import requests. And that is all we need to do. So now if we head back to Rapid API, you can see here that they already give you some code, which we're going to use. We're going to just take all of it. So I'm just going to literally copy it all. And we're going to come back here. And inside of our on members join, just below here, I'm going to create going to make some new lines. And then we're going to paste in what we just copied. Here we go. So the first thing that we're going to do when we copy it, I'm going to rename the URL to joke URL. So if you don't know what a URL does in a request, the best way I can explain it is with this analogy. A URL is like a house address, and we're sending a letter from our code to that house address to pick up something, and then the letter is coming back with some data. That is the best way I think of explaining it. And the URL is just the house address. And yeah, so that we're going to leave that there. And inside of the headers, we're just going to indent it nicely just to make it fit in with the rest of it. You can see here that it says sign up the key. So if I head back to here, you need to make sure, as I said earlier, that you have an account. And when you have an account, this example code here will already contain your API key, so you won't need to add it or change it, as if you're already signed in, the example code will already have API key here in replace of sign up for key, so that is fine. I'm just currently not signed in now. I do have an account, but the reason I'm not signed in is because I don't want to reveal my API key to the world. But anyway, my API key I'm not actually going to directly put in the file. I'm going to put it in my separate API keys file. So I'm just going to replace this and replace the where the API key would have gone with joke API, and this will just link to my API keys file. And now that is basically everything. So just before we do anything else, we need to just indent this, and then we can copy this text here, but then we can remove the print function. What we want to do now is we want to create another await channel send. So we could just do that by just typing it again, await channel.send. And inside of this, we want to paste the response.text, the text that we took from inside the print function that was just here. This is going to print our joke into the chat. And that is everything. That should work. So let's give it a go. So let's save it and then run it. There we go. Our bot's now online. So if we head back to Discord, I'll make sure to leave on my test account. See, there you go. As I left, our YouTube bot replied with a goodbye, which is what we want. And then I'm going to join again. And hopefully it's going to give us a joke. So I'm joining in 3, 2, 1. Yes, come on. No, so it has failed. And let me have a look. So that is just because, as I said up here, we renamed it. I forgot to come down and change it here. So make sure you do that. There we go. I'm going to save it. And let's rerun this. So hopefully now it should work. I've just left on my test account and now I'm going to join again. And I'm joining 3, 2, 1. Okay. So it worked. It provided hello. And yes, it gave us a joke. We just need to extract it outside of the content. So to do this, apologies, I understand now why we're getting that error. It is because the response that Rapid API is giving us is a JSON response, and we need to be able to read it, which we technically weren't doing. So to do this, at the top here, we just need to import the JSON package. It comes built into Python, so just type import JSON. And then back down here, in our client.send, this section here where we write response.text, we want to change this to, we want to put in the beginning, we want to type json.loads and then open brackets and close brackets around the response.text. And then after this bracket, after the text, after this closed one, we want to open and close the square bracket. And then in single quotes, we want to type content. There we go. And then save. And there we go. That's everything. That should now work. So let's run it again. There we go. And now let's head to Discord. So now if I leave again on my test account, and now let's rejoin, it should hopefully give us a joke. Yes! Yes, there we go. And actually, to be fair, that's a pretty funny joke. One thing I do actually want to change, one just tiny thing is here. I want to just, it's only a text thing. Welcome to the server. And after this, I want to put, here is a joke. There we go. And now let's head back. There we go. That is everything. That we've done it. We've done it. We were able to get our bot to welcome people to the server, as well as giving them a joke, as well as detecting when they leave and then saying goodbye. So that brings us to the end of this video. So a quick conclusion of what we've been over today in this video. We've gone over what an event is, how you use them, as well as I also showed you the API documentation, link in the description, to other events that you could use. I also showed you how you can add other functions / commands, like the hello, I'm a YouTube bot, this sort of thing. And also as an extra sort of thing, I showed you how you could get your bot to tell a joke when a user joins. But I really hope that this video was useful to you and that you enjoyed it. And if you did, please do consider giving it a like, as it would really help it out in the YouTube algorithm. And as well as that, if you're sticking around for part 3, please do consider subscribing. But anyway, I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.